Hey everyone, this is Felicia with The Book is Done. Wanted to come back, do a quick review on these 2 or 3 books, that I am kind of catching up to. I've been doing a lot of reading, which I'm super excited about. Let's jump into it. So the first book that I'm going to talk about, The Perfect Son by Freida McFadden. Y'all. Again, Freida Reader here, Freida McFadden. I am a forever fan. Like anything that she comes out with, I'm here for it. I'm pre-ordering it. I'm here for it. Like right now, Ward D, that comes out the beginning of May, then like May 4th. I'm on it. Paperback, on it, ready. I think the audio version has already been released, but Ward D, Freida McFadden is the truth. Like, do not sleep on Freida McFadden. She is amazing. So, this one, The Perfect Son. All right, triggers, possible triggers. There are some triggers as it pertains to like childhood disorder, not really childhood disorder, but just some behavior that is not normal for children. I cannot remember the diagnosis for it. I don't have my DSM in front of me, but Diagnostic and Statistical Manual. That's what I mean by DSM. Excuse me. I don't have it with me, but that's really it. There really aren't that many triggers where it's just like, let me, forewarn you type thing. But outside of that, let's get to it. So the main character, Erica Cass is like this mom, married couple. They have 2 children. They have a son and a daughter. The son is the oldest. And then the son's name is Liam. And I forgot sister's name. Hannah is the sister's name. They're like 16. He is like 16. Hannah is like 14. Mom, she not to say she's a journalist. She's kind of like a not really an author, but she does write different stories for like the newspaper, things of that nature. And then her husband, he works in the tech world. I want to say IT, but he works in the tech world. So sometimes he goes in, well, a lot of times he goes into the city for work. They live like in a suburb area, like on the outside town of a major city. So Erica, the book starts off saying how she is going to protect her son at all costs. And it's just like, oh snap, like what happened? What's going on? And so gets into the story. Liam is like super nice, super smart, people person, but he could be very manipulative. But not everybody sees how he's manipulative. So like some people will see it and be like, oh, but he's a genuinely good dude. Other people be like, that's some shady boot stuff. He's crazy. And that's what they say in the book. Like he's legit crazy. Like something is just kind of off about him. He takes pleasure in seeing people hurt or go without. And when I say hurt, like go without food, seeing what will happen when they starve. That type thing. Again, I forgot the diagnosis for that. But they were saying how he could be narcissistic, things of that nature. So he's in the Glee Club, I believe. Or no, not the Glee Club. I forgot the debate club. He's on the debate team. And it would be different accounts in the book where people would speak about how unique Liam was, how he could, talk to people and get them to do what he would want them to do, and other people just saw straight through it. So there's this girl that is just like teenager, so head over heels in love with Liam. And even Liam's mom is just like, I have to figure out a way to get him from her, get her from him. Like, I don't want him, meaning Liam, to do to her what I guess has happened in the past. So it makes you wonder, like, what in the world did Liam do? Like, what in the world happened? So it tells about it, like, throughout the book. It goes back and forth between, like, when the police were interviewing different people to ask them questions about Liam and, you know, his demeanor, how he carries himself and things of that nature. So that's really it. And it comes to light that the girl that really has a crush on him, Olivia, I believe that's her name. Yep, Olivia. Olivia has gone missing. And they automatically believe that Liam did it. And so he's just like, I had nothing to do with this. I don't know where she is. And he's so calm and just like legit smooth with it, as to where he's just like, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do anything to her. Like, he's very like monotone about it. And so again, with this book, you don't really know what's going to happen. Freida McFadden just twists it up. And so someone who you thought was the killer, well, I can't really say the killer, someone who was the kidnapper, you know, you had no idea. You were just so taken aback. You were just like, what happened? That's what happens a lot in Freida's books, is that you have one of those moments, a few of those moments, where you're just like, oh my gosh, I need a minute. I need a minute. What did I just read here? And I told Freida that a lot of times. I'm like, girl, what are you doing to me? Like, I feel like I'm about to have a freaking heart attack from this book and every book. And so The Perfect Son, the end of it, of course, very unsuspecting, still a very good book. If I had to rank it out of 5, I would give it like a good 4.5. Good strong 4.5. It was just, a lot of the stuff was really good. You have to get accustomed to the flow of how the book goes. And it's not to say Freida's writing style, but just the flow of the book. And so, you know, you're going back and putting pieces together, and it's a good flow. It is a good flow. It's something about this book where it's just like, okay, you want to believe that the main character is the bad guy. It's obvious, things of that nature, but it really isn't the case. And so it's a good book. Again, I would definitely check it out. The Perfect Son, 4.5 out of 5 stars. So the next book, Unmissing. Unmissing by Minka Kent. I thought that it was a unique book. I like the title. I like the title of it, Unmissing. It's just like, unmissing. How does that work? Like, someone is no longer missing, or they were never missing to be kin with. So with this book was very unique. So oh goodness, triggers. I wouldn't really say it's a trigger. It's just basically what the story is about. But kidnapping, I would say not really domestic violence, but like psychological and physical torture. It definitely has some talks of rape in there. So sexual assault. Not really domestic violence, but I guess you could put that along the lines of it. So definitely take heart in reading this, because it will, when different pieces and parts of the story comes together, it's just like, okay, got it. So the main character rather, her name is 3 of them. It's Merritt, it's Luca, and it is Lydia. So modern day, Merritt and Luca are married. They're married. They have 2 young, well, yeah, they have one daughter who's like 2 or 3, and she's pregnant with their son, who comes maybe about 60% halfway through the book, where she gives birth. And then they are restaurant owners of several different restaurants that they own, and they are currently going under real quick financially. Like, they're having to close the doors to some of these restaurants and things of that nature. So in the midst of all of this is Luca's second marriage. his first marriage, he was married to Lydia. Lydia was, they were in the beginning of opening up, or that was his vision, was to open up a restaurant, to open up different ones. And so he was away at work, and Lydia said that she was going away for a jog. And so she went away from a job, and she wasn't seen again until like 10 years later. I want to say it was 10 years. It was a long time ago. And she was kidnapped while she was like running in the forest or through the forest. So one day, Merritt is home. Luca is out of town, trying to speak to investors about, investing into their restaurant. And Merritt hears a knock at the door. Lo and behold, is Lydia. Now, mind you, missing persons report has been filed. All of this stuff has been going on. She's been presumed dead for 10 years. So all of a sudden, Lydia shows up at the door and was like, hey, I need to speak to my husband. And Merritt is like, hold up, I'm his wife. Who are you? And when she says that she's Lydia, it's just like everything stops, like a dead person is standing in front of you like, Lydia, that's not possible, she's dead. And so it's like she came back from the dead type thing. And so you get into the meat and potatoes of the story. Like Lydia, in a sense, becomes close with Merritt, kind of like a confidant. Merritt starts to not really take pity on Lydia, but at the same point in time, she's trying to figure out where Lydia came from, why she's here, what does she want, because like their restaurants before her and Luca, Merritt and Lucas, was pretty good. Like they are living in this super dope house, driving like I want to say it's an Aston Martin. Like it's a super nice car. Not a Tesla. It's up there. It's one of those Maserati or Bugatti or something, but it's up there. So they got money, and so she's trying to figure out what does she want? Why is Lydia here? Is it because she wants money? So they become close. All of a sudden, Luca, not to say all of a sudden, Luca is stressed because all of the restaurants are tanking. Like they don't have any investors, and out of the blue, it's like they just need to kind of book it out of Dodge, because out of 3 investors, like I believe every single one of them came through. So not to say out the blue, but one day it's like Lydia was like, she goes up to the restaurant and tells Luca, I want you to hire me and I want you to pay me $1,000 a day. I'm sorry? Like what? Like the gall, how you just, what did I miss? Like all of a sudden, not to say she grew confident, but she was real bold and just being like, okay, this is what I want. You're going to hire me and you're going to give me $1,000 a day cash. And Luca is just like, okay. And I'm like, what? Where did that come from? Like, how is he okay with that? Like, slowly but surely, like, your cards are maxed. You can't afford this stuff. You're laying off staff. You're closing restaurants. How are you paying this woman $1,000 a day? Now, mind you, Lydia is a dead woman per se. Like, she needs a social security number. She needs like a whole new identity type thing. So they can't put her on payroll because she doesn't exist. She's dead. So, and the biggest question that Merritt had was, why didn't she go to the police? Lydia never went to the police to discuss anything, not until it was towards the end. So this book right here, I would, at first it took me a minute to just kind of wrap my mind around what I was going on, because at first I was a little mad with the ending, because I was just like, okay, what is really going on? So it was a part in the book where it was just like, oh, that's what happened? Like, baby is like that? Ooh, she is vicious. Like, it was a whole different turn of events. Some people may guess the ending. Others would just be like, what? I did not expect for that to happen. So you just have to check it out for yourself. Now that I think about it, just the twist and the turn of it all, I would give it like a strong 4. Strong 4. And so, this is the first that I've read. of Minka Kent. Would I rush out and get another book of hers? I'm not sure. It will be a minute before I do. Let's see. Apparently, she 2, 4, 6. She's had 6 books before this one. The Watcher Girl. When I Was You. So that's another When I Was You. The other one was Amber Garza from the previous video. When I Was You, The Stillwater Girls, The Thinnest Air, The Perfect Roommate, and The Memory Watcher. So, I mean, I may get another book. I'm not in a rush to get it. Just kind of have to get accustomed to her flow. She is a pretty good author, though, when it came to that book. So, I would read another one of hers. I'm just not in a rush to do it. So, in all things, all is well. Last but not least, Brain Damage. Another Freida McFadden book. Listen, let me tell y'all, these next couple of videos, it's going to be Freida books. Like the first one that I just finished on Saturday was another Freida book called One by One. The ending blew me away. It's always the ending. So, Brain Damage. Sorry for the glare. Brain Damage, again, slowly starting to be in different book retailers and things of that nature, but I've gotten all of her books on Amazon, and I follow her on Amazon as well. So this particular book talks about a woman whose name is Dr. Charlie. So some triggers. It does have some violence in it because Dr. Charlie was shot. However, she did survive. But of course, not to say based on the title, but it is talking about brain damage. So there are some neurological things that they talk about. And, you know, not to say domestic violence. It was psychological spousal damage or abuse, if you will, mental abuse and things of that nature. So, long story short, Dr. Charlie, I want to say she was she's a dermatologist, very successful in her profession. She meets this super gorgeous guy, and she's like, why is he interested in me? Like, I'm just me. Like, I'm not gorgeous or anything. This man is, like, gorgeous, like, just drop dead gorgeous. He's a lawyer. He's just delicious. He's delicious looking. And so one day it's like something happens and she comes to, and she wakes up in like this hospital and she has no idea what happened. So she got shot, and she got shot in the head, and she survived. And so basically it's like she's in this rehabilitation center. And so she has this helmet on because they have to wait for, you know, her to heal and things of that nature before she has brain surgery. And I forgot the name of the type of, it's escaping me right now, the type of injury that she experienced. But she, like, they had to remove a piece of her skull. So her, like, brain, like actual brain, is exposed. So she has to wear a helmet. So while she's there, she can't see anything out of her left. Like, she can't function with the left. It's like the whole left side of her body is just like not functionable. She didn't have a stroke, but it's just the result of her being shot in the head. And so while she's there, she comes across several people. Excuse me. She comes across several people. One of them is a gentleman that she becomes fairly kind with. And at first, she was just like, I can't stand you. I don't like you. What do you want? Type thing. And so her husband's name is Clark. Let me just put that out there. So her name is Charlie, and her husband's name is Clark. And so Clark is one of those where it's just like, the more you read about him, you just want to put your hands on him, just in a bad way, because he's not supportive. He's not a good husband. He's not a good husband. He doesn't check on her, nothing of that nature. Kind of some shady boot stuff that's going on his part. Like, he was a lawyer, then all of a sudden he decided to leave his job when he got laid off. you know, for some stuff that he was doing. And so, sorry, I'm trying to find the name of, okay, his name is Jamie, the individual who she meets in the rehabilitation. So his name is Jamie. He's super nice. Not to say he's sweet on her, but he likes her. And so it just builds and builds and builds, and he's learning. Of course, I want to say, he didn't get shot in the head, but he did tumble down some steps. He was a bar owner with his brother. He did the financial stuff of the bar, and something happened as to where he just, I can't remember. I don't believe he was drunk, but he fell down some steps. Single father of this boy. I want to say he was married, and no, he wasn't married. The mother of his child was addicted to drugs, and so he has full custody of his son. So his father comes to see him. Charlie's mom comes to see her while they are in this place. And so the story, it goes back and forth between present day, what happened leading up to the shooting, what happened. And in all things, this book had me in the feels, had me in my feels a little bit, because with the main character, it reminded me of another book that Freida McFadden had written. It's called Do You Remember? And it talks about another woman. She is a CEO of this major company, and it just kind of builds up. And she had a seizure. And as a result of the seizure, it was like she had a seizure while she was driving and she crashed. And so it was like every single morning she has amnesia. And so she does not remember who she is. So in all things, that book, Do You Remember, and Brain Damage it was pulling at my heartstrings, because I felt like the main characters didn't have anyone to be for them in their corner, like they couldn't speak for themselves type thing. And it was just like, you have to tell me that this is eventually going to get better for them, because my heart is breaking for them. Like, what is going on? So Brain Damage was really good. It ended up being a really, really good book. There is a happy ending. Just like in Do You Remember, it was as good as it could be. And Do You Remember, you have to check it out. Oh gosh, it was such a good book. Brain Damage is definitely one that is not discussed about a lot, because this book, of course, like the rest of them, came out a long time ago. Not too long ago. It came out in 2016. So this book came out in 2016. Do You Remember, I believe, came out maybe before that, or slightly after that. I'm not sure, but they're not new books. But in all things, still a really, really good book. I would check out Brain Damage. It was definitely one as to where it was just like, okay, let me kind of prepare myself for what's to come, because I'm ready to fight everybody. I'm ready to fight a husband, because a husband is just shady boots. And you'll hear me say shady boots a lot. I have twins, you know what I mean? So it's not like I could just go out here and just pop off at the mouth. But in all things, another Freida McFadden book. Really, really good. I would, of course, again, highly suggest that you check her out. See what she has on Amazon. You can follow her on Instagram, Facebook. She's a really nice person. In real life, she is a legit doctor. She is a doctor. She's a neurologist, I believe. And so a lot of these stories come from what she has experienced. Of course, not verbatim, patient, provider, confidentiality, things of that nature, but just putting a spin on it. And she just so happens to be an author. So just go check her out. She's really, really good. So in all things, those are the 3 books. Brain Damage by Freida McFadden. Unmissing by Minka Kent. And The Perfect Son by Freida McFadden. Go check out these 3 books. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. They are so good. Check it out. This is Felicia again with The Book Is Done. I am out. Good night.